If your mic is pointed straight at your mouth and your input levels are slamming into the red, you're probably making your audiobook harder to listen to than it needs to be. So, let's fix it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to position your mic and where your input levels should sit, so that way your narration sounds clear, clean, and professional in its raw tone. But if you're serious about getting your audiobook mastering dialed in, I've put together a mini course to help you get started. It's called Audiobook Mastering Bootcamp, and you can check this out at thehomeaudioproject.com/bootcamp. And if you want a free resource on EQ for mastering, head to thehomeaudioproject.com/EQ. Now, let's talk mic technique. I was chatting with another narrator the other day. He was struggling with all sorts of annoying clicks and harsh sounding audio. And after a bunch of conversation back and forth, gear tweaks, and second guessing, it all came down to one thing. He was aiming his microphone directly at his mouth, catching every puff of air and every bit of detail, good and bad. But he was able to get it figured out, and it's something that every narrator should know. So let's walk through a few different mic positions right now so you can hear the difference for yourself. I'm going to show you how I position my own mic, which is the Shure SM7B. But the examples I'm about to walk through will work no matter what microphone you're using. Condenser, dynamic, USB, doesn't really matter. But what does matter is how your microphone picks up sound and what direction it's designed to be pointed in. This is what's called your microphone's polar pattern, and every microphone has one. So if your sound isn't quite where you want it, this next section might show you exactly why. So let's start here, talking into the wrong side of the microphone. This happens a lot with side address condensers, and honestly even an SM7B, because it looks like a shotgun mic, but the pickup is actually on the front grille. Now, if you talk to the top or the back, you're not in the mic's listening zone, and your audio will sound muffled, distant, or it can sound broken. I'm fairly close, so that might help, but now all of my sound is traveling across my microphone, not into it. Now, this one is technically in the right direction. I'm facing the capsule, but I'm way too close, and it's in the path of my breath, and it can be very loud by being this close. This means puffs and plosives all get amplified, and even those pesky spit clicks. And you will hear every time you say the word problem or popcorn, those plosives will come out. And unless you want to spend hours of mouth noise editing, you might want to avoid this one. Now, if you do have a setup that is similar to this and you just can't avoid it, then you're going to want to use one of these, a pop filter. This is acting as a windscreen and will help reduce those pops and plosives that come through when they hit your mic directly like this. And now this last one is just too far away. Now it might seem comfortable, but now I've got to crank up the gain just to be heard. And that boosts everything else in your room too. Computer fans, outside noise, HVAC hum, it all comes with you. Plus, the voice starts to sound really thin and roomy, which can kill the intimacy in audiobook narration. Now this one's a great spot if you're working with a tabletop stand or a microphone that can't be mounted above you. The microphone is tilted upward, catching your voice cleanly while allowing your breath to pass over it. And it's not slamming right into the capsule. That way you get warmth, presence, and control. Now, good position number 2 is slightly off axis at the same level and still angled at that roughly 45 degree. And it's sitting around 4 to 6 inches away from my mouth. Now this still gives me the same rich tone with less plosives because my speech is going across the microphone, and it's a little bit more flexible with your posture. Now, this is probably one of my favorite setups for audiobook narration because the mic is out of frame, angled down but towards the narrator's mouth or your mouth, and it allows my breaths to pass naturally, and that way it can stay clean, focused, and it keeps your recording space clear. Now, here's the thing. Every mic is a little different. Some are more sensitive to where your voice is coming from, and that's because of something called polar patterns. This is basically how your mic picks up sound from the front, the sides, or even in some cases, the back. So it's worth looking up how your mic is designed to capture sound and what direction it should be facing. That'll make sure you're not accidentally talking into the wrong part of the mic, which happens way more than you think. Now, let's jump into input levels. When you're recording narration, you want your average peaks sitting around -8 dB, because narration isn't like radio or YouTube voiceovers. It needs to breathe a little. If you're riding too hot, you're leaving zero room for dynamics, especially in fiction or emotional moments where your voice naturally gets louder. But too quiet, and you risk noise floor problems or having to boost everything later. So between -8 and -10 dB gives you a sweet spot. You're not clipping, you've got headroom, and you're setting yourself up for a better mastering result later. If your DAW doesn't show dB levels clearly, get used to watching your meter in the green, which is good, yellow, which is fine, and red, which is your warning. With mic placement and input gain, most of the time it can be a set it and forget it, because it's your space that you're recording in. But little things can change. So with every space, every different microphone, and even how you're feeling that day, right? So don't overthink it, but you do need to respect it. Where you place your mic and how loud you record can be the difference between sounding like a pro or sounding like someone who's just winging it in a closet. So now that you've seen a couple of different mic placements and you've been able to hear them, and you know where your input level should be, you should be set up for success. If you have made these changes, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear how these changes have improved your recording space and your recording quality overall. If you've already nailed all these recording aspects and you're getting into the mastering phase, you still don't really know where to start, then head over to thehomeaudioproject.com/bootcamp and check out my mini course, Audiobook Mastering Bootcamp, because it's designed specifically for self-producing narrators like you. With that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in another video real soon.